Welcome back to Hermitcraft Season 11. This is episode 20. It feels incredibly good to be here. It feels incredibly exciting to be back working on the base. In fact, life is incredibly exciting at this point in time because this is potentially the last Hermitcraft episode I'm going to record from my English office. I think it's time that I start placing down some signs. How are there these robot buttocks? So on the left, I'm going to have a timeline. On the right, I'm going to have the chaos level. Sometime in the middle of February, we made an offer on a house in Chamonix and it was accepted. The chaos level was low to medium. Then in March, I began the immigration process and the process of moving my business over. And this created a chaos level of medium, but it is definitely increasing as the complexity increases. I still don't actually have a visa, which means technically I can't move to France just yet, but I'm hoping that sorts itself out soon. Otherwise, I'm going to be living in a van in England for a few months. So this is the stage that I'm currently at, which is moving house and moving country. That is all happening next week, and the chaos level is very high, but life is exciting. And then this is my plans for the next month. Mild renovation and getting settled in a new town, a new country, and the chaos level here is unknown. Or uncone. I'm hoping I'm in a chaos bubble right now, and the chaos level is going to reduce. But there is also a chance that it is going to go to previously unknown highs. And this is all an incredibly long-winded way of saying I have no idea what my upload schedule is going to look like over the next 6 weeks. Just know I'm trying my best. It's actually concerning how much this building project is on my mind versus the actual building project of my actual house. If I put half as much planning and thought into the actual process of getting a new house and moving country, then maybe my life wouldn't be in so much chaos. But here we are. Gosh, I love it when Exuma Void is online because the fan in my power station starts spinning. This is like an Exuma detector. It is time to build a skyscraper. Grian is currently online in the Hermitcraft test world, and he's building some really cool stuff that I won't show you because it will give you massive spoilers. So a few weeks ago, I tried my hand at building skyscrapers for the first time with various degrees of success. This is the first one that I did, which I think looks really cool. Look at him observing his little build. Grian keeps putting spoilers in the chat. It's making it hard to record. This is the second one that I did, which I think is mildly interesting. Just the block palette is really challenging, and then this was the third one, and at this point I realized I was doing things extremely wrong. However, I recently spent time in a city for the first time in ages, and I actually went up a skyscraper and was looking down on other skyscrapers, and I realized most skyscrapers are not square. Like, all of my skyscrapers currently are square. Most of them are crazy, like L shapes, and they've got all sorts of angles to them, so that's definitely something that I should try and introduce into my town. But for the time being, absolutely stoked with this one. I especially like the backside area and this space here with the sort of fire escapes. I even installed a little shop down at the bottom with some vending machines and various different details. I think it looks cool. It's a very solid start to our city. So now it's time to start resource gathering. That is the most sibilant sentence I've ever said. It doesn't end. So using Lightmatica, I have got a list of all of the resources that I need. It's basically tons of glass, a decent chunk of mud, a decent amount of tuff, and yeah, kind of a decent amount of everything now I'm actually looking. So I've got the tuff and the cobbled deep slate, the packed mud, and the pale oak wood is going to be pretty killer to gather because we need loads of it. An unexpected surprise is that I seem to be sorted on acacia logs. Also, an unexpected surprise was a fly pass from Grian, whose base is looking incredibly cool. The fact that he's gone for purple. Purple is a block palette that absolutely terrifies me. I cannot build with it. I just can't even touch the stuff, and this looks cool. And what I saw in the creative testing world looks even cooler. What the heck has Scar been doing? Ah, the edge! The edges with the candles! Come on now, Scar, come on! Come on, leave some talent for the rest of us, mate. This must have taken forever. This must have taken forever. I literally can't even imagine. I'm at the mangrove forest doing satisfying activities. Oh, there's a fire. Oh, I'm a firefighter. I did what all good firefighters do, which is just stand around and wait for it to go out, and it seems to be okay now. I'm sure all of the hermits on the server are feeling much safer knowing that I'm around. I will say Pearl is also online, and she is clearly slacking because she wasn't even here. At least I was on the scene. This should cover me for the time being. The pale oak forest is almost totally deforested, and I definitely haven't helped that situation. Now it's time for the glass. I sincerely hope this is a closed eye blossom farm. It looks like it is. This is good for my grey dye. Oh my goodness, it produces loads of the stuff. I wish I had a squid farm. I also wish I had a sword. I am making my way down the list now. We are on mushroom stems. This is where we are up to currently. Now I'm grabbing dark prismarine from Cleo's Guardian farm. Definitely one of the craziest sounding farms I've ever experienced. I'm getting well and truly into the weeds now, but I want to make sure that I get all of these items because otherwise it makes the build so frustrating to work on. I need a bunch of jungle wood, and now finally I have everything I need to construct this thing. So I thought I would do it in the form of a time lapse. And the process of constructing this thing was relatively smooth. Everything came together really quite quickly, and I'm so glad that I did the resource gathering beforehand because there were minimal frustrations. I had everything that I needed. The one issue that I was running into though is, oh my goodness, the block variety for this build was pretty intense. There are so many different variations of all the different blocks that I'm using. For example, deep slate, I think I had basically everything. Like I had all the different types of walls. I had smooth deep slate, cobbled deep slate. I had the bricks. I had the tiles. I had cracked bricks. I had stairs, slabs, everything, and they were all filling up my inventory. And it got me thinking a lot about what could be done with the inventory update. And I have a small idea, and maybe it's stupid, but I think you should be able to have a shulker box in your inventory. You can put it in your hotbar, and then you can hold something like Control or Option or something like that and scroll the scroll wheel, and it will select an item from inside the shulker box that you can then place straight out of the shulker box. And then maybe you could open up your inventory and actually see what's inside your shulker boxes by holding down Shift or something like that, and then select an item from inside the shulker box that you use while holding the shulker box in your inventory. So then you don't have to keep placing them, picking them up, crafting things and getting all muddled up. Everything could just stay nice and neat. Let me know down in the comment section if that sounds incredibly stupid. We have got our first build in the city, and let's be real, it looks a little bit odd at this point in time. It's kind of standing alone, but I do like the fact that it is visually distinct from what's sitting in front of it. I've actually been thinking a lot about the skyscrapers, right? And the way in which I can build them, because, you know, if you remember the Hermitcraft creative mode world. All right, I guess I'll head over there. Grian is online. So I was really struggling with block palettes. I wanted to make sure that I used block palettes that didn't match what I did out the front here. And I think that is wise because otherwise it would look very busy. But the problem is I used a lot of blocks out the front here, which meant that the block palettes I had left available were limited. So I've been thinking what I could do is actually have bands of block palettes. What if these sort of front sections, these front, I guess 4, especially if I reduce the height of this one ever so slightly, are the darker colours. And then I go for the medium greys here, and then I go for the whiter blocks out the back. Is that taking gradients and things too far? Like, be honest. If all of these were sorts of deep slate, muddy, toughy things, and then we had the more stone-based and like mossy stone-based ones there, and then the whiter blocks toward the top, would that work? Would that look cool? I do think it would look cool, but would it almost look too formulaic? I think it's time to hop back onto the Hermitcraft server. This is definitely my first time doing a building project of this type, of this complexity, and of this scale. So I'm feeling a little bit lost. I do really like this block palette though. I think it's super interesting. I do think it would look cool replicated on other buildings. One other thing that I learned recently from spending time in an actual city is that skyscrapers kind of do all look quite similar. I was really trying my best when I was designing my skyscrapers to do something vastly different every single time. No, skyscrapers kind of all look the same. If anything, I think it will massively help my build if I do keep the skyscrapers fairly uniform, just because the foreground is so ununiform. Maybe the one build that I should introduce some interest to would be the macro transact tower that is sitting way out the back. Otherwise, they should all share roughly the same design language. Maybe we'll get onto that in a little bit. For now, we need to address a serious issue. I can't help but notice that these still look pretty coppery to me, and I am 99.9% certain. Yeah, I de-waxed all of these. They seem to be waxed again. How is this happening? I mean, I have a feeling I know how this is happening. The redstone contraption I built in the previous Hermitcraft episode has clearly done nothing to deter him, so it's time to step it up a notch. I am slightly concerned that he is the only other person online, and there is a high chance that he is going to bother me while I'm building this. But for the time being, it seems like I'm safe. I have just done something that took me an incredibly long time. I think I've added custom audio to my own head If I just quickly power this, I should hear a little message.
Grian,
Yes.
really? Really?
You're still doing this to my reeds. What have I done to you? What did I do to deserve this? Perfect. Okay, if I break this, will it still have the custom audio? Or will I have to go through all of that again? No, it still has it. This is extremely exciting. Right, I'm going to throw all of my other items away, and I'm going to build a little contraption. This is still one of my favorite features in the game currently. I need just a handful of pistons. All of them need to be sticky. I then need slime blocks. And I don't have a slime farm. It's actually one of the few farms that I don't have, and I'm not self-sufficient on. Does Impulse sell slime? He sells frame rate issues. This is actually an incredibly good deal. I might actually get that. In fact, I'm going to get 2 sets of those. I managed to find a couple in the miscellaneous items chest. I'm winning. So let's choose one of these copper bar things that I should detect an update on. What do we reckon? Do we reckon this one here? This one here, so when it detects a change, it should activate the system. I am mildly nervous about doing redstone this close to water, I must say. What do we reckon? I mean, surely he's not going to notice this observer face, right? Like, you'd have to be paying quite a lot of attention. I'm going to take a redstone signal out from that. I'm going to extend the pulse a little bit. And then, in fact, I think I'm going to extend the pulse a little bit more. I want to be standing out on the surface for quite some time. If I quickly mock this up, let's see. So all of the redstone is on. It is staying on. I would say that feels about right. I guess I should probably check to see that the audio file actually plays for the full duration. Let's have a listen.
Grian, really? Really?
You're still doing this to my reeds. What have I done to you? What did I do to deserve this? That is pretty perfect. Okay, that extra extension, absolutely spot on. Now you may be wondering what I'm doing all of this for. Well, I want a little armor stand to pop up out of the ground, stand next to Grian for a little bit, chastise him for doing those bits to my reeds, then disappear back down into the ground. Is it clear that I don't say the word chastise very often? I don't even really know what it means. Wow, I just looked up the definition. Apparently I used it incredibly accurately. All that reading is finally paying off. So this spot here kind of feels like the perfect spot for me to pop out because it's pretty unlikely that Grian is going to be standing here when doing his bits to my reeds. I don't want him to think this is a trap. So that is looking pretty good. That is our flush trapdoor. And then down at the bottom here, I guess I need a little slime block launcher, which is going to fire our armor stand upwards so that it lands on the surface. I guess this should be powered on. And then I need it to retract, this to fire, and then this to re-extend. And then the same thing to happen again when this pulse stops. Gosh, this might just be the ugliest redstone I've ever done. Grian's dot just got a lot bigger and it panicked me, but I think he is just harvesting some trees and bits. Oh, he was sleeping. He was just sleeping. If I accidentally broke one of these blocks up here and flooded the redstone contraption, I genuinely think it would improve it. What am I actually doing? I mean, it sounded okay. I think I've linked everything up. Everything should be... Oh, working? What? It doesn't go high enough? This needs to go higher? I honestly feel like it's my first day doing redstone. I don't know what's happened to me, but I seem incapable of doing anything that makes any sense whatsoever. Does this work? Grian's ball went big again. It went big again. Where's he gone? Why is he here? This has to be the one. What? Come on. Come on! Up! Up! Yes! 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 I can see an armor stand. Yes! 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 Good. This is good. Yes! Excellent news! Excellent news! Now, I just need the note block and my little player head. This is a pretty embarrassing state of affairs. I currently don't have a bow and I don't have enough gravel to produce flint for arrows to kill myself. Finally, everything's coming up. Time to get myself my own head. What just activated? What? I mean, there's me struggling with arrows. What on earth just happened? This is definitely a skiz build. I just can't understand what it is. I feel so bad as I've taken like 3 stacks of arrows from it. For goodness sake, can't believe I had to pay to go to bed. Right, it should now all be ready to go. So if I update this observer here.
Grian, really? Really? You're still doing this to my reeds? What have I done to you? What did I do to deserve this?
I mean, that's just so stupid. It's so stupid that this is taking me so long, but I think that's the beauty of it. Should I also, I should definitely give arms to this thing. I should probably also give like a disapproving look, right? I mean, if I just use the default sad pose.
Grian. Really? You're still doing this to my reeds? What have I done to you? What did I do to deserve this?
I've made some minor tweaks to it, so I'm looking a little bit more direct, but now it's time to actually put oxidized copper in the spot. Oh, here we go. There you can see that's disappointed, isn't it? That is disappointed. So everything is set up. All of these reeds are now fully de-waxed, so they should oxidize, and that means he won't be able to help himself. It's time to do some skyscraper designing. So as I said earlier in the episode, I recently built all of these, and I've been playing around with changing up the block palette of the ones that are next to it. Now, I actually do really like the form factor of this skyscraper. I'm just incredibly curious what would happen if we went for a gradient a little bit like this for this front face. Is it going to totally blend in with this here? Is that a problem? You know, maybe what I could also do is I could add a bit of a vertical break in here. So we kind of create a module here, a gap, and then another module here. Then this section and this front edge can be made out of the brown stuff. This section I'll come to because I'm not sure what to do with that. And then this section can be made of this stuff. Oh, I wish I understood how to use world edit and stuff. I guess I do kind of have a backup over here. I've gotten really lucky. I really hope I haven't done anything wrong. I really hope I don't break anything. Yes, I'm a wizard. Right. That's actually what I wanted to do. I am not going to lie, team. I am not entirely sure how to feel about this. On the one hand, I do think it is already looking much better than the mangrovey one. I think it's working. I just don't know how I feel about the matching so strongly. Ugh, I absolutely despise stripped jungle wood. I wonder if I can use something different. It's just so green. Like, the greenness is insane. Oh, but it does kind of work. Actually kind of works in the build because it looks so gross. I wonder, because of the yellowness of that, I wonder if I can then almost put a sign on the side of this thing that will work. Does that kind of work? I mean, I'm honestly losing my marbles at this point in time. I think this is something. I think this is a little something. This little sign right here, I've tried my best to make it look like it's connected, even though there's kind of no way to connect it, but I think that works. I've reduced the size of this sign, but there's still something to draw the eyes downwards a little bit. I do actually think this looks quite cool. I think my big question is, do I then keep the bricks and the granite? I mean, it does go quite well with this. Like, they don't actually not harmonize, and I don't think there's anything wrong with having a little bit of extra blockage in the block palette. I don't have to make it identical to this. I do think these work quite nicely. Maybe the bottom section could be more of this sort of block palette. Obviously that is not finished, but that gives a rough idea. I think, I mean, it's an extremely abrupt transition at this point in time, almost distracting, but I think if I transition it like this, I do think it will look quite cool. Marginally better. If I then add just a few streaks to this, again, this is more of just a test. This is just a test to see if it kind of works as an idea. If I just go through here and press all of the wrong buttons and clear out all of the blocks that I actually need, and then just cover this thing in grey glass, that might add a little bit of texture into the mix. Not horrible at all. I'm just trying my best to give myself an idea, just a little idea, a little something. And I think this is actually doing it for me. I think this feels quite nice. Yeah, that actually really is quite nice. Like, if I'm flying past that and I just see that out the corner of my eye, especially with this floor area done and there being bits on the floor here, I actually really like that. Like, this might be my new favorite skyscraper out of the two. I think I've learned a lot here. Now, out of pure curiosity, this is not permanent. I'm not going to be sticking with this. I promise you, if I end up sticking with this, I wanted to take some time to think about this. I will give Grian all of my diamonds. I just want to see how this looks if I copy this skyscraper and put it here. To just give me a feel for like a bunch of skyscrapers in a cluster, all with similar block palettes. And remember, as soon as I start talking, as soon as I start saying, I think this looks good, maybe actually I could build this on the Hermitcraft server. As soon as I start saying that, just know I'm being lazy. All my diamonds straight to Grian. I've made 0 backups. I hope this goes well. Okay. Interesting. Extremely interesting. First off, I really like the composition. I really like the way these interact with one another. I think this is great. These sit together so well. I quite like the block palettes. I do quite like the theme. Am I going insane? I think I kind of like it. I think it feels like it's a bit of a break from like chaotic, mad, different colors. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. This has actually been way more confusing than I expected it to be. I feel like I've made progress but also not made progress here, in that now I'm going to be thinking about this endlessly. It definitely matches the tone of like a dingy, dirty, rundown city. Like this block palette is so perfect for that. And I think that is quite cool. And I almost wonder if we had it going around like that. Like these were all sort of dark and dingy, and then there was like 1 or 2 that were slightly more modern looking than the one out the back was like quite fancy. I do wonder if that would tell the story of my base quite visually, like quite clearly. You've got the really rundown area out the front, mildly rundown, and then gradually making its way to the clear center of all the wealth of the city right there. Yeah, I mean, oh, this is difficult. This is fun though. Like, this is fun. This is what world building is all about. This is what creative Minecraft builds are. The creative struggles of it all is the enjoyment. It just doesn't feel like it when you're going through it, when you're trying to decide. And also, I fear all my diamonds are at risk because I kind of like how this integrates with this and this. I think they're perfect together. I think they work out so well. Why did I say that? I think it's time for me to hop back onto the Hermitcraft server to just stand and think, I do think this might work. I do think it could work out, and I do think I've got a lot of time to think about this as I move all of my possessions and myself into a van and drive down to Chamonix. I'm moving to France now. The sun is setting on my English office, and when I return, I guess it will be coming from my new home. That is so weird. What the heck? For the second time in today's Hermitcraft episode, I need to kill myself quickly. I wonder if I can do this in F5. Definitely not. Okay, that has gone incredibly smoothly. Then I just need to gather some leather from the leather farm. Got myself some nice blue jeans here. And now finally, I can make myself a virtual cardboard cutout. You know, just in case I'm not online for the next couple weeks, I wanted to make sure that I was online in spirit. So I've got one of these. Do these look like finger guns? Okay, yeah, that's working. Hopefully these signs explain everything. I am looking forward to seeing where this guy ends up. Like, he's probably going to see more of the server than I have. And for now, I really do hope that you enjoyed this Hermitcraft episode. It's been a ton of fun to make, and I will catch you all very, very soon. Salut!